we're good to go. So welcome to today's case study. And you got the man himself, Earl, right from, I think, British Columbia, right? Or yeah,
that's right.
British.
Yeah,
Nice.
I live in BC. So,
yeah, from Canada, and some right now there. And I'm interviewing you today just to give you, or to have you give us some insight, some clarity around, where you've been before the kinetic method, where you're now, results, and your experience. So welcome aboard, man.
Thanks. So,
Yeah,
in terms of like where I started, I guess where I started from is where we go from. So I was going through some turmoil in my life. I had some ups and downs in my business. I had some ups and downs in my relationship. I had ups and downs in everything, and that was affecting my health. And the whole COVID breakout, I actually got into a bit of a depression, right? So I ended up like just like eating my way through it, right? That was kind of my solution. I was just eat everything, right? So I have like a week's worth of food, and I would eat it in like 2 days, and it's just not good. So I ballooned up easily like 35-ish, 40 pounds, and that's where I started. Like way overweight, um, easily 40, 50 pounds overweight. And then I guess I met Mauro, and then we started talking about the kinetic method, and just what it was about. And what got me interested was the hook was that got me interested was the diabetes thing, because I have type 2 diabetes. My A1C is far too high. And through the program, he was saying that we could reduce that A1C count and get me off of diabetes medication. The other thing that you mentioned was that your program was actually more sustainable than all the other ones that I was looking at and doing. And so I was looking at other diet programs, other pieces of the puzzle, and they weren't sustainable. Like I could do them, I have the willpower, but eventually willpower runs out, and you don't want to do them anymore, right? So, and you can't keep pressing that hard. So, I like your method because it's sustainable, right? It's something that you can actually stick to and do, and it doesn't kill you, right? That's the beautiful part about it, and it still produces like huge result.
Yeah, that's a great intro, especially where you were before, and what you were looking out for, what you wanted. Before we switch gears and we talk more about the results and ultimately what you have achieved, can you give us some updates, on age, height, weight, that people, and your lifestyle, how many hours you work per week, that people understand, like, all right, this isn't 9 to 5 guy who has like tons of hours a week, and he's in his 20s to work out, right? So that we understand the full context before we move forward.
Oh man, yeah, 100%. So yeah, I'm 41 years old. I am 5'10", and before I started weighing myself on a regular basis because I was embarrassed about my weight, I was hitting 240 something, upwards from there. And so I'm an entrepreneur. I run a business. I run a marketing agency. I'm the boss. So all the buck stops with me. So there's no such thing as 8-hour days. That'd be great, right? Like as an entrepreneur, I think the saying goes, you get to work half days out of the first 12 hours or the last 12 hours, right? So so that's kind of how it works, and kind of everything stops with me. So it's high levels of stress, high levels of work. And back when I had just joined, I live in BC, and I was doing a bunch of work for folks out in Spain and Greece and everything else. So I was working like all sorts of crazy hours, 2 or 3 in the morning type stuff, and yeah. So anyway, so that's the situation. That's where I came from. That's where I started. So not a whole lot of time, not a whole lot of energy left, not a whole lot of fire left in the belly, right? So it was just. Getting to the end here, and then that's kind of where we were at.
Perfect, thank you. Yeah, now given that context and also what you said before, like I know you played a lot on the idea that it's sustainable, because I know you tried a lot of different programs that you were doing in the past. What would you say, or how did you know that it was sustainable this time? Like what happened that you said, all right, this is sustainable, I can do this 5, 10, 20 years, Mauro can call me when I'm 61, 20 years from now and say, hey, Earl, what's up? You still got, you're still in shape? Yes, sir. Like what was that element that you said like, all right, this is something long-term and not something that you say like, I paid for this, I'll do it, but I'll regress back then.
Right. Part of it is the adjustment of the numbers that we're supposed to go for, right? So there was no you have to hit this, you have to hit that, and it was an impossible task. You set achievable goals, like achievable. Let's not even use the word goal. Let's just use the word standards.
KPI
right?
standards.
Standards that we set for ourselves, and it wasn't an impossibility. I mean, sometimes it was a little bit of a stretch, but it was never to the point where it was so uncomfortable I couldn't keep going, right? So I tried, for example, a keto diet. That was my diet of choice while I was doing 75 hard. And I failed a bunch of times because I just didn't have enough carbs in the system. Because, having diabetes, they say, don't eat less carbs. I was trying to do a full out keto where an apple is too much carbs, right? And man, my brain would just run out of steam. I would stop thinking clearly by like 2 p.m. I would take naps in the middle of the day and drive my wife absolutely insane. She's like, "What the hell are you sleeping? God, I'm tired. I can't do anything anymore." Trying to do this keto diet, like the pure keto, and yeah, with your model, like I'm allowed to eat carbs, which is like, holy crap, really? That sounds great, right? And I was worried about the caloric deficit in the beginning, but I'm full now on, I think you had me on like 1,700 calories. I'm full. I don't want to eat anymore after that. And it's not like I'm sneaking snacks in or doing more than that. So, and in terms of like being able to keep this thing going, it's again, just reachable standards, right? The standards are something that's doable, and it's something that I can do for the rest of my life, right? I was ready to work out every day, twice a day, right? 75 hard, and you're like, oh man, that's too hard. That's too much. You don't have time to recover. There's no time to rest and let your muscles grow and do their thing. And I'm like, well, yeah, that makes sense. And when you only ask me to work out 3 times a week, I'm like, that's it? That's all you want? And that's been life changing. Just working out 3 times. Following the regiment, doing the program. And to be quite frank and quite honest, I mean, I still have that injury and I have a couple other injuries. I haven't been doing the full workout regimens you've been assigning, but I'm still getting the results. I'm still getting the goals. I'm like, holy crap. Like, and it's just so surprising about how, I think the saying is, small hinges wave big doors. Small hinges wave big doors. And part of the program is that you show us where those hinges are. Right? Like I didn't used to, I thought all those people who had a scale were crazy. Like who the hell measures their food? Who weighs their damn food? Right? And then the moment I started weighing my food, my weight dropped like the rocket. I'm like, holy crap, that's a big difference. Right? And yeah, I was scared that weighing the food would, I wouldn't get enough food. I'd be hungry. Nope. Actually, when I started weighing it, I'm like, oh, I started paying more attention to what I'm eating and what makes me full and what makes me happy and what hits my numbers, right?
Yeah,
so, yeah, 100% sustainability all the way. I can do this till I'm dead. So
good. Yeah, well, you'll increase your lifespan, so you got to do it for a very long time, man.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Yeah, I also like how you said with the small things, because that's ultimately what it's all about. Like the mistake so many people make is, and it's also in business, that they always want to add more, like, oh, I do more. It's like, yeah, to some degree, sometimes you have to do more, but a lot of times it's not about adding more and doing more. It's about focusing on less and doing that, what is less, really, really well. And that's going to move the needle more than anything. Yeah. Talking about,
but yeah, I had no idea that step count put that much effort, like put that much of a difference in weight loss, right? I increased the step count to the recommended amount and just melted. It's insane.
Yeah. As I said, when you focus on the right things, that's when the results just happen as a beautiful byproduct of it. And if it's sustainable, then you already know the odds are in your favor to get what you want. Talk about results, right? I know you mentioned a few things where you were in the beginning, and a few things you've done so far in the process. Over the last few weeks and months that we've been working together, what would you say are like the biggest results you achieved so far? Maybe you can start with the weight, that people have some tangibles, some numbers, and
Right.
then all that goes with it from diabetes, energy, look, feeling, performance, whatever you want to touch on there.
Sure. 100%. So first of all, the weight, I am down, I think 31 now pounds, 32, something like that. Over 30 pounds, which I thought was incredible in such a short amount of time, right? I thought that it would take longer for an older guy, right? I'm not ancient, but I mean, I'm 40. So I mean, I hear people losing weight. They say, "Oh yeah, I will lose like 1 pound a week, whatever." Man, dude, like it hasn't been 30 weeks yet, and I'm down 30 pounds. So 1 or 2 pound a week, man, it just melted off. So that was the first thing. The other thing is that my A1C count for my blood sugar levels went down 2 points. Just sticking to the metrics and the KPIs and the numbers you've given me, right? So um, in terms of like energy levels, man, like losing 30 pounds, you feel like a new person, right? I have to go buy a new suits. So uh, I gotta go buy new clothes. I mean, that's a big thing, right? I'm I was ashamed to wear like a tank top before, right? And I'm not like a perfectly sculpted body now, but I mean, I don't mind wearing a tank top outside now. It doesn't look so bad, right? So that's another thing. So confidence levels definitely up. Um, and then in terms of like thinking and whatnot, yeah, just mental. The it feels like the mental fog has been lifted, right? So just a little more mental clarity, right? I think eating cleaner and exercising in the right way at the right times and not overdoing it. Um, really help all those bits out.
Perfect. Yeah, good numbers, and also good how you feel with that. That's important ultimately. Yeah, because I believe anyone can drop a few pounds here and there, but how do you feel about it? Do you feel like shit? Do you feel hungry? Do you feel tired? Because then again, it's
Oh yeah,
unsustainable.
yeah.
It's set
On
up for
keto, I
failure.
wanted to kill myself. It was
Uh-huh.
terrible. Like I couldn't do anything. I was exhausted all the time. Yeah. On this, you know, what's crazy is that because you don't give us a structured, like you have to eat this. It's just you have to hit these numbers. We've got the freedom to make the choices, and sometimes even like it's hot right now. It's summertime, like you were saying. Like I like ice cream once in a while, right? And then you found me, low fat, high protein ice cream. I'm like, this is magic, right? And it fits inside. I still hit my numbers, and I can eat ice cream. I'm like, this is insane. Like no other diet has said, hey, you're allowed to do this as long as you hit these numbers, right? They don't have that clarity of the science kind of behind it, right?
Mm-hmm. Beautiful. Not many guys have cracked the code to losing ice cream, to losing weight while eating ice cream on or with diabetes, right? So
Yeah, exactly. So
yeah,
that was a weird combo, but it worked, man. And like I said, like I'm it's weird. I'm reading labels now. So
brilliant, man. Last question for you. For anyone watching this who's on the fence, they obviously, stranger internet, they watch this and think like, yeah, I'm not sure. Should I do it alone? Should I get help? Should I trust this guy? Like, what's your word of advice for those guys out there?
so there's a I guess there was like a study done, right? Like for the best people, the best in the world at anything. And the best in the world at anything typically have a coach, consultant, mentor, someone to help them through those pieces of the puzzle, right? And typically you want somebody who's more knowledgeable in that space than you are to kind of guide you through from point A to point B, right? Like a lot of a lot of pain and suffering is because, we don't take the time to find someone who can help us. And yeah, you know what? I'll be a man. I'm strong. I'm smart. I can do this myself. I'll figure it out. Right. But, like, I don't have time. I don't have time to do the research, right? I don't have time to do the studies. I don't have time to see what the best practices are necessarily, right? And then to actually do all that research and then still execute it and then still run the business and then still have time to see my family, right? So it's a balancing act. And so part of it is, why does Tiger Woods have a coach? Because he can't see himself swing, right? Why did Wayne Gretzky have a coach? Again, same thing. Like you can't necessarily watch yourself, monitor yourself, and still do what you need to do all at the same time. You can, but it just takes longer, right? I mean, I could have lost this weight on my own, but it would have taken me much longer, right? So, it's the whole time, money, value thing, right? Right? It's what's it worth to you, right? What's your health worth to you, right? And being able to what's important for me would be, being able to live long enough that I can, walk my daughter down the aisle when she gets married, right? Stuff like that, important things in life. And so, to be able to do those things, I need to be healthy, right? And, part of it is this. So yeah, if you're on the fence and you're thinking about it, like, I met Mauro on the internet. To me, he was an internet stranger until we became friends, right? And, and now I'm super thankful, right? Like, you showed me a bunch of stuff and you taught me a bunch of things that that are changing my life. I mean, like I'm gonna be off of diabetes medicine. That's life changing right there, right? Because and the diabetes runs in my bloodline. My dad had it, my grandpa had it, my mom had it, grandma had it, everybody had it, right? I'll probably be the first to reverse it.
Time to cut the line, to cut the chain in that with those
100%.
patterns.
And the neat part is because of what I'm doing, my wife is supporting me, my family is supporting me, and they're all eating similar things so that we can all eat the same thing together. And so just because I'm on this healthy journey, everyone else is on the healthy journey as well. But because you can still eat delicious things, nobody's complaining, right? So that's a great
That's
thing.
the key, man. Not that you have to sit in a separate corner and put down chicken, rice, and broccoli 6 times a day. Rather enjoy a meal with your family, maybe an ice cream here and there, and still, see that fat melt away almost as quick as the ice cream.
100%.
Beautiful. Well, thank you so much for being here and, giving everyone a little bit of insights on your journey so far. And there's a lot more to come for you.
For sure. Thanks so much.